Hello, TA Tech Unboxed viewers. My name is Shiran Danoch. I'm the CEO and founder of Informed Decisions Interview Intelligence. And today I'm going to walk you through our platform and show you how it can assist you in hiring more qualified and diverse candidates in less time. The main pain that we're aiming to solve is the immense human bias that goes into the interview process. The way that we do it, the approach that we're taking is focusing on the interviewer as your most important hiring tool. And by providing actionable feedback, continuous actionable feedback to your interviewers, both on the things that they're doing well, that helps you hire more qualified and diverse candidates, but also their individual biases and to monitor improvement over time. A little bit about me. I'm an organizational psychologist with an expertise in talent assessment. I spent my entire career building assessment tools and selection systems for global organizations. And I have a PhD in people analytics. Me and my team bring all of that expertise together with data science and AI, incorporate all of this with behavioral science in order to assist you to amplify your hiring process. So how is that done? Let's take a look. So before I'll even show you the platform, the first thing that we do with our clients is to understand what are the key skills, behaviors, motivations that are important, that are critical for the role. Based on that, we can either do it with you in a focus group. We can scrape your job postings, and we can also, we have a large benchmark from existing clients and also from research that we do for different industries. But basically, the product of that will be a position profile that breaks down your job requirements or the relevant skills to their clear definition. So you can see here there are different components like the biographical values and motivations, the cognitive aspect, the interpersonal aspect, the leadership aspect, the functional aspect. This is specifically for a leadership position. And you can see each of them is broken down. Each of them is broken down into its concrete elements. And based on that profile, we go ahead and we build your interview process within our platform. Meaning what you get from us is a customized process, customized to your position, to your organization. If you want to do something quick, just plug and play. We also have that. You can use our templates, but if you want to get the high-end product and service, then you can use our team of IO psychologists to customize your interview process specifically for your company culture and position. So how does that look like within our platform? This is our platform. It integrates with your ATS. When you move a candidate to an interview stage, they're automatically being opened on our platform. All of the data that is captured in our platform goes back to your ATS. So let's take Angeli, for example, as a candidate for a sales leader. Once I click the candidate's name, what I see here is all of the interview stages. Let's say I want to conduct the hiring manager interview. I click start. And what the interviewer gets here is the entire outline of the interview, including how do you prepare, how do you open the interview. And then for each one of the skills that we have agreed upon, that we have defined in the profiling stage, what you get here is a set of questions to assess that skill and also what a good answer looks like in order to create alignment between interviewers and to reduce the individual bias that goes into uh, an unstructured assessment, you have a place here to document the key things that the candidate has said, your impressions, but you don't really have to. So if you don't want to document, you can always invite our interview bot, just insert the Zoom meeting, the whatever video conference meeting that you're using, the link here, click invite, and the bot will join the conversation, transcribe it, and also produce an AI generated skills-based summary, as I'll show you in a minute. So basically, this is how it goes. For each skill, you have a set of questions that you can ask and assess the candidate as you go through the interview, throughout the interview, because we all know how hard it is to complete scorecards after the interview. And many times our hiring managers will do it, if they do it, a long time after the interview, when they basically forgot what happened and their memory is uh, biased in terms of the questions that we're asking. So you won't see here any generic questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, or why do you want to work here? All of our questions are well thought out by our IO psychologists, and they are really diverse in terms of, you'll get here behavioral questions, but also simulations and dilemmas, job-related dilemmas and scenarios. Here is a dilemma, for example, and whiteboard tasks. You can also incorporate a stage, which is a home assignment. But basically, this is how it goes for each one of the skills that you want to assess. You're asking a question or set of questions and providing a score. At the end of the interview, you also have a place to put your own summary to give an overall impression of the candidate. And if you want to leave points for inquiry for the next interviewer, this is where you can do it. The reason why we're doing this is that when you finish the interview, we encourage independent evaluations. So contrary to many other platforms that encourage knowledge sharing between interviewers, we say no. If you are providing the entire interview transcript or summary to the next interviewer, you're basically biasing them. And we don't want that. We want multiple perspectives. We want multiple tools and multiple perspectives in order to get an as objective as possible an in-depth assessment of the candidate. So what the next interviewer will see when they go inside is they won't see the score. This is what they'll see, because we don't want to bias them. And they will see that there is a point for inquiry. They can open their own interview and they can see the point for inquiry here. And basically that's how it goes. So that's the first layer, basically standardizing, structuring the interview in a skills-based way, which by itself significantly reduces the bias. But that's just the beginning, because what happens after you submit the interview is that now you're able to make a decision much more quickly about the candidate and in a much more focused way, as I'll show you in a sec. Okay, so this is the hiring manager interview that I just shown you. This is how it looks like when the interview is completed. So what you get here is the overall score of the candidate. How does the candidate compare to other candidates? And then if you decide this candidate is worth the discussion, then you can actually look at the scores that the different interviewers gave. This is in a case where you're not interviewing just by yourself. So each of the interviewers are evaluating independently. Usually what happens that immediately after you say goodbye to the candidate, you're actually starting to bias each other. and speak immediately. So here you're first of all scoring and only then comparing your impressions and focusing. Basically, you shouldn't even talk about all of the areas where you thought the candidate was high and you're fully aligned. The places where you need to spend the time is around the skills in dispute, the skills where there was a misalignment. And also here, if you want to leave points for inquiry, you can definitely do that for the next interview, or you want to add a team summary. So this is the second layer, a data-driven decision, a focused discussion, which is not based on biases, gut feels, general impressions, just our memory of the dominant things that happen in an interview. No, it's based on skills and based on data. And this is possible at each interview stage, and also at the end of all of the interviews, you also have an overall decision metrics to compare between the different stages and see if you still have any question marks, doubts, things that you need to further, that you want to further assess about the candidate before making a decision. That's our second layer. Our third layer is the actual feedback. So you as an interviewer, the more you use our platform, the more you're inserting your scores and documentation into it, then it gets smarter. It gets to know you. It gets to know your hiring patterns, and then we can provide you with actionable feedback. One thing that I didn't show, so I'm going back just for 1 second, is our skills-based interview summary. So this is an example of an interview where I have invited the bot to join. So once the interview has ended, what I have access to here is the overall interview transcript, and more importantly, the interview summary, which focuses on experience and education. And then the points of strength and growth of the candidate is based on the skills. It's framed in the language of the skills that we've assessed throughout the interview. And also you can see here inclusive words or phrases versus non-inclusive words or phrases. The third layer of our platform is the feedback, like I said. So the feedback that we're providing is both at the individual level for each and every interviewer and aggregated at the hiring team level. So if I'm a recruiting leader or a business leader wanting to see the quality of the decisions for my team, I can definitely do that. So I'm going to review the team report, but whatever you see in the team report, we're also generating for each and every interviewer. So I won't go through all of it, but just to show you some statistics that we're sharing. So you can see overall statistics about how many interviews did you do for which positions, what is your hire rate. Then we go right to the point, which is your quality of hire. Another thing that we're doing is that our job does not end when you finish interviewing. We're also monitoring the performance and the retention of those that you've hired, and then we are able to tell you something important about your quality of hire, like how many top performers did you hire, how long do they tend to stay in the organization, how does it look like in terms of different diversity aspects like gender, ethnicity. Another thing that we're able to tell by comparing to actual performance is actually what are the skills that matter, what are the predictive skills in your process versus the non-predictive ones, the ones that you might have thought or hypothesized that predict performance, but in fact, we're seeing that they're not. And we're also incorporating that into our algorithm and providing different weights to different skills according to their predictiveness. We can also see diverse hiring metrics, how many from each group did you interview versus hired, who are your top interviewers in terms of their inclusiveness, in terms of their predictiveness, and other metrics that we're monitoring. Here you can see the overall score distribution by gender to see if we have some kind of a pattern favoring a group. Again, it can be by gender, by ethnicity, the data that you're actually collecting, of course, with consent from your candidates. This is my favorite part, which is your strength and biases. So like I said, we're monitoring many different patterns in the data, dozens of different patterns, and we're actually able to tell you what is your team, or what are you as an individual interviewer, what are you doing well and you should continue doing, or what are the things that you should improve. And it's not just about bringing it to your awareness, but actually providing you with what should you do in your next interview. And then we will see in your next interviewing rounds, were you able to improve? And if you will, we will let you know. And if you won't, we will also let you know, because for us, it's all about empowering you, providing you with the knowledge and data to become better interviewers. So there is a lot here, a lot of metrics that we're measuring, but the common denominator for all of this is we want to turn your team into a predictive powerhouse by providing them with knowledge, with data about the things that they're doing well, and also their biases and how can they improve. So if you want to turn your process into a more equitable, accurate, and efficient process, and hire more diverse and qualified candidates, we would love for you to reach out. Thank you.